Hi, if you're watching this video, it's because you've probably got your Matt85 system. It might have been you've purchased it yourself, or you may well have been given it by your head office to use. Now, what you're going to need to get yourself started is a few things. First of all, your tablet, your printer, roller labels, keep it wrapped because it's got an activation code on there, a power source. You will also need Wi-Fi, your local Wi-Fi, and also the login details, including password, from your managers. Okay, so you will need all those things before you start. Tablet, printer, labels, power, Wi-Fi code, and login. Okay, right, let's get started. The first thing we do is plug everything in. So, what it is, got a couple of sockets here. This is the charger for the tablet. Now with your tablet, you'll see it's got a USB, micro USB in the top, which sits in like so. What I'm gonna do is actually, you should probably have one of these as well. These are just basically a silicone rubber cover for the tablet, and that just sits in like that, and it gives it a little bit of extra protection in the kitchen. It doesn't mean that you can bounce it all over the place, it just means it gives you a little bit of extra protection. So we have the tablet and we plug it in using the micro USB slot there. So basically there's the tablet plugged in. The printer is very, very similar in the fact that we have a power cord with a transformer. So basically plug in our power cord, attach it to our transformer, plug that into the back of the printer, like so. You'll see there's some ports on the back there. It's the round black one you're going into, like so. And if I switch that on, you'll see that the green light comes on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just switch that off for the moment because we're going to concentrate on the printer in a little bit. What we're now going to do is actually look at making sure we're right on the tablet. So what we're going to do is switch it on. There's a little on-off thing on the side and the volume up and down on the side there as well. This is where you get to the main screen. If you've not used an Android before, the circle, the square and the arrow are the three important things. The arrow takes you back to your previous screen you were on. The 0 takes everything down to the bottom of the screen. It's a minimize, and the square opens up all of the programs in a box on the screen of what you've actually got running. The first thing we're going to do is set up our Wi-Fi. Now you should have your Wi-Fi code with you before you start, and to do that we want to go into settings. Settings is the little cog that you see on the left hand side. I tap it and it shows settings as they come up. So we've got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc, etc. So we're going to go into Wi-Fi. Now I'm already connected to my local one, but you would tap your local Wi-Fi, enter the password, and then you're on your Wi-Fi. Okay, so let's go back out of that, and we go back to, by pressing the 0, it takes us back to the main screen again. What we're now going to do is enter the Daymark gateway. There may be the app on the front screen, but it may be with all the rest of your apps there, which it is. But I've got mine on my front screen, so I'm just going to tap it like so. And what the Daymark gateway is, that is like a little app store that Daymark have created. Now this always comes upside on, and you will need to put in the email address, which is your username, and the password you've been given to sign into the app. So I'm just already got mine on there, and I'm just signing into the app. And there we are. So it's got menu pilots, Matt85 printer utility, etc, etc. These are programs written by Daymark. The one that we're going to concentrate on is the top one, which is menu pilot. It's showing that there's an update for it. So we're going to bring it up to the latest spec by hitting update. So it's now downloading the file. You know, like when you get a new phone or you get a new tablet of any type, there's always new software from when it was originally made. So it's just a case that this is all this is doing in exactly the same way that any other electrical thing you have these days would do. So it's just making sure you've got the latest version of the software. Your Wi-Fi might be faster than mine. There we go. So we press install, and it's now installing that software. It's downloaded onto the tablet. Okay, app installed, and press open. So what it then does, it opens up the Menu Pilot software in there. Now again, you will need your login and password to actually get into Menu Pilot. And again, in the top box, you put in your email address, and below that, your password that you've been given by your manager. And then you either press login, but it's just as easy to press the green arrow at the side there to do it. And it will actually load you into the software. Okay, so this program that you see on here is my program, and it's got all my products on there. Yours will have your own business program with all your products on there. Okay, they may be in photos like this, but there may be just plain colored tiles for each product. Okay, so here we are, we're now up and running, and that's working. The next thing we're going to do, now we know that this is working, is we're going to actually Bluetooth the tablet to the printer. Now there's a couple of things we need to do first. What we really need to do first is actually register the roll of labels that you've got onto the tablet. And you can see on there, there is what's known as a KA code. And that KA code is the activation code you need for every roll of labels that you use. But it's a very simple process of activating it. So we lay the labels flat down on the ground, and along the top in the menu, you'll see there's something that looks like a barcode, which we tap. When I tap it, it's asking me to enter the barcode. Now you could physically put the barcode number in there, or you can hit scan, and it will come up with the camera and actually scan that roll of labels. Give it a few seconds to do so. And when it's done, it will say scanned and successfully saved. Okay, so that is your roll of labels. You can now unwrap your labels. So they're ready to go in the printer, okay? So the next thing we're going to do, as I said, we're going to now Bluetooth the tablet to the printer. But before we do that, we need to put the roll of labels into the printer. So let's have a look at the printer. First thing we're going to do is there's two blips either side. You just pull and it opens like so. In transit, these two bars are open, but there's a little switch down on the inside here that you just pull down and it brings them across like so. Okay, these are now spring loaded to actually go to any label that you choose. Now I'm actually going to choose a different size label from what I've got here. I'm going to go for this one, has a day of the week label. So what you do is you put the label into the jaws like so, so that the core actually sits within the circles there. So that actually sits in nice and snugly. The next thing we do is we draw these two things over so that the labels sit evenly in the middle of the printer. We then double check the sensor. Now the sensor is this black thing here, okay? That does actually slide, and I want you to push it as far over as it will go. And it should be virtually in line with the little guide there, but as far over to the left as it will go. Okay? And we can now put that in and know that we're ready. Now, before we close the lid, we want to turn the printer on, like so. Now, the printer's going to bleep. It loves bleeping, but when you close the lid, it first of all stops bleeping, it lines up to the next label, and the standby light, the green light, is then there ready to go. So, with the labels in and the printer on, we can now Bluetooth the tablet to the printer. So to do that, we need to go back to settings again. Remember where we did Wi-Fi. So we tap the circle, we hit the settings button, and along the top here, you'll see Bluetooth. So I'm going to tap Bluetooth on if it's turned off. We then see the available devices that are there. One of them is the Matt85. Where it says Matt85, there will be 4 digits after the actual words Matt85. Now they are your PIN code to actually Bluetooth the two things together. So we hit the Matt85 and it then asks you for the code. You then put your code in. My one is 1135, and then you hit where it says OK. It then has paired the tablet to the printer. So what we're now going to do is go back to our menu pilot, and there it is. We go to print a label, and in this case we're going to do cottage pie. It then connects to the printer, and can you see the printer light has now turned blue to show there's a live connection. And I just hit print and it prints a label. You may sometimes have a situation where it actually prints the labels in American format. Can you see that that's been printed in American format? Quite often when it's new, it will do that. So I'm going to show you how to put that into UK format. So right where it says menu pilot in the corner, there's 3 little lines. We tap those 3 little lines and we go to settings, which is in the middle there. Right across the top here, in the very top right hand corner, you'll see there's a little icon that looks like a calendar. We press it, and then the bottom option is day, day, month, month, year, year, which we press. But before we go back to the main screen, we just slide that up slowly and hit the save button hidden underneath. So if your machine asks you for an admin password, the password is just admin. So write in ADMIN and enter, and that will get you into this screen. So we go back to here, we do the chicken tikka masala again. I choose the different style of label. There we go. And I hit print. And you can see now that it's actually printed that label the other way around for the date. In summary, it prints labels, whichever labels your management want you to print. You have a tablet, you have a printer. They both need plugging in. The tablet will need Wi-Fi, and also you will need a login and a Bluetooth. What you can also have is labels and the printer. So in summary, we've set up the system. On our tablet, we've set up the Wi-Fi. You've updated menu command, and it's actually giving you menu pilot with your username and your password. Okay. When it loads up, you see all of your products ready to print. To print, you just tap on one of your products, and in this case, we'll do the cottage pie. It then shows you a preview of your label. I'm actually going to choose something different. I'm going to hit print, and as you hit print, the label comes out of the machine. You will have had to Bluetooth your tablet to your printer, and also done the KK activation code to register your labels onto your tablet. Okay. I hope this has been helpful, and always rewind and just go over some of the other bits again. Thanks very much. Bye.